Good afternoon on what is a warm, bright, and sunny day. It is Friday, the 13th of September. Yes, 13th of September. And I am in the Read Nook with a nice hot cup of tea and a box to continue unboxing. And what I'm going to pull out here, get hold of it, is this Nations and Cannons Core Rules from Flagbearer Games, Revolutionary Campaign setting for 5th edition. So, the British are coming. The year is 1775. The British have amassed in Boston, and the Second Continental Congress has just formed a provisional government. Without help, the Patriots will surely fall to the British forces. Join the fight for liberty in this revolutionary campaign setting for 5th edition. Nations and Cannons has everything you need to play historical adventures set during the American Revolution. Well researched and vigorously playtested, these rules include new backgrounds, feats, and character options for living and fighting as an unconventional hero in the 18th century. Inside this book, you'll find rules for muskets and artillery, deadly foes, and steadfast allies, and a new rebel rouser class, the Firebrand. Included is an adventure module that explores the Patriots' invasion of Canada, and a diverse cast of heroes who lived and fought in the Revolution. Build a character to declare your allegiance and explore the conflict that created a nation, all while immersed in the peoples and history of colonial America. Anyone can start a war, it takes a hero to end one. So, okay, yes, I'm British, I'm English, but I am a fan of history, so I wanted to have a look at this, and in particular, I'm fascinated by American history. So having a role-playing game which investigates sort of like the beginnings of American history, or certainly the United States history, has absolutely got me, uh, got me interested. So there we go. It's a fairly slim book. Flagbearer Games, I think, just primarily sort of focuses on war games, but this is an adjunct to that. So, chapter origins, it discusses once you've got sort of it's just so yeah, you've got the contents page, and then we're into sort of chapter origins, looking at unconventional heroes, choosing your heritage and languages. So you've got basically a whole list of historical languages there, and then you're looking at particular regions for where your character might come from as far afield as the Caribbean, or I should say the Caribbean, since we are dealing with an American book. And then essentially we have sort of general classes. So we're looking at the things like officer and pioneer, renegade, scholar, and scout. So that's offering quite a diverse range of character types. Veteran as well. And these all supported essentially with some typical sample characters, presumably they're historically based. Again, that's my ignorance. I mean, that's why I'm interested in playing this, to find out. But with traits of things like, for the veteran, of sterner stuff, years of service, a member of the old guard, and so on. And you basically may have some background there, sort of like going through the various wars that the character might have fought through. And the actual, so essentially, those are backgrounds, I should say, because you've actually got proper classes here. So you've got new subclasses, classes and subclasses. So we start off with the Firebrand. This is going to be the rabble rouser, crowd pleaser, pushing the sort of like the men to fight for the new country and to gain support around amongst the populace. So there we've got various abilities. And the vocations for the Firebrand include chaplain, demagogue, and so on. And then we have the version of it's essentially barbarian fighter, sort of like But what they've done with that is they've kind of mapped infantry classes onto those roles. So we talk about barbarian as grenadier, fighter potentially as turncoat, and so on. Um, I mean, the ranger is more obvious because essentially you're talking fundamentally kind of a scout character. Rogue is sort of like a marksman, teller of tall tales. And then character choices in terms of, you know, got some background there, some history, so determining when the character was born, what conflicts and events they've been involved in. And then we get to actual backgrounds, so things like career soldier, convict, and you develop these out. So, for example, the convict, you can talk about what was the past crimes, the feature is street law, suggested characteristics, and so on. And whereas a career soldier is suggested characteristics, soldier's stomach is the feature, hard wearing. You've got folk healer and fur trader, homesteader and immigrant. And some of these would actually, you could easily transfer these, further forward, well into the 19th century, because something like a, fur trader still existed, folk healer still existed, an immigrant, so on. A parishioner, a local man or woman. Then you have a son of liberty, essentially driven, basically carrying carrying the carrying call of revolution. Got a list of various feats. Not very many, but firearms and kit. So includes got. Let's have a look at armor, and then armor, then war gear. And this isn't a setting where there is a lot of armor, or particularly because hey, it's heavy and musket fire will strike you down from a range anyway. Talking about firearm properties, including and then grenades and special weapons. Special weapons include blowpipes, bolus, cavalry lance, and Kansenkopf, which is basically a grenade firing flintlock. There we go. And there's a fantastic illustration of these weapons. That's all nicely done. And then you've got the weapons list there. Got a tool list on the other side there, so weapon list, tool list there. And then when you're out in the wilderness, rules for traps, because you might lay those for the vile redcoats. And if you're on the battlefield, you've got artillery rules. And then essentially interesting here is this is not a setting with spells, but it's a setting with gambits. So essentially, the idea is essentially rules for gambits, a mundane interpretation of spellcasting. And just discuss the options of flintlock fantasy there. So firebrand gambits, ranger gambits are all listed there. Then they're going to be followed by different gambits. So there we go. So that's an interesting idea. Basically means of gaining advantage over your enemies. And then we have an enemy roster. So this includes artillery, beasts, irregulars, partisans, and soldiers. So we start off with artillery, and then we're on to beasts and irregulars. Partisans, and soldiers, so drummers, field officers, footmen, foot sergeants. Fusiliers, grenadiers, and hussars. And I do like the illustrations in this book. It's very nicely illustrated. You've got a list of enemies by region, and then a guide for the game master on how to run the game. That's actually surprisingly, that is only quite short. It's only a page. I would like it a little bit more, given perhaps my lack of familiarity. But we have Invasion of Canada, an adventure primer. So we've got background to it, an overview, and then some adventure hooks. I mean, the question is, do you need an adventure hook to go and invade Canada? We've got the adventure flowchart, which includes something off with promoting the invasion. So you've got the fight, it involves the firebrand, perhaps, and then Battle of Long Point, planning the attack, making it crossing the river. So there you've got a shot of them sort of like punting across the river, as it were. And then we've got the siege of Fort Saint Jean. And then conclusion, what happens next? Character rewards, but above all, the wrap up is that you're Boston bound, historical outcome, and then the character rewards for getting involved. You've got the dramatis personae of conflict, and then you've got bonus one, je ne sais quoi, another encounter. Bonus two, the mighty Richelieu. Well, what happens if the French get involved? So there's quite a lot in here, given the slimness of the tone. Appendix 1, you've got rules for inclement weather. And then a map of the eastern United States. You've got the index, so on. And that's it. That is Nations and Cannons core rules. And that looks absolutely terrific. I look forward to digging into that. That's going to be fascinating to read, to see how it's been adapted, how the 5th edition has been adapted to an interesting historical period like the Revolutionary War. Well, I hope you enjoyed this unboxing in the Nook. If you did, then please do click on the like button down below. And of course, if you've got any comments or feedback, I do appreciate you taking the time to post those. And lastly, if you want to be alerted to get more unboxings in the Nook, where you'll see me out here with a box containing a book or game or role-playing supplement, or in this case, a core rulebook for a historical role-playing game using Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition rules, which I will unbox and chat about to the best extent of my knowledge for roughly 10 minutes or so, all of course accompanied by a nice hot cup of tea. Then please do click on the subscribe button down below. Thanks again for watching another unboxing in the Nook. I will be back again soon with another one. Bye for now.